Hello, and welcome to a reading of the Redemption City of Bondage board game rules. There is actually nowhere where you can find a copy of these rules handy, not even a PDF, without having to ask people for it. That's what I found out. Someone brought it to my attention on one of my other videos where I had played the game before, and we kind of covered our playthrough, but we didn't cover the actual rules. Anyway, I got these sweet little slip covers, card protectors, at my local comic book and gaming store and hobbies. So anyway, I'm gonna read these. You can pause the video and read this if you want. But otherwise, so the point of the game is to rescue lost souls, other heroes, and defeat bad guys, and then make it back to the well. You're going to have battle dice, and you're going to have your movement dice. So, you have your game components here. Also, just feel free to pause the video anytime to get a good look at the rules. Here you go. So mainly the most complicated part of setting this up is that each player rolls this dice. And so if it's a 1, you go with the first setup. And then the second player rolls the dice. Say it's a 6. Then you jump ahead to... Oh, where'd it go? To the 6th setup, which is place 1 card on each 6 buildings with stairs on them. That's another thing, that each house is different. The houses have similarities, and you want to go with those. If it's an 8, place face up on any 4 buildings in any section of the city. Oh, okay, cool. I missed that before, yeah. Well, we didn't roll an 8 before. But, excuse me. So, again, feel free to just pause the video and read them for yourself if you would like. Roll the movement dice. You're also restricted by hit chips. Hit chips were another thing that was kind of confusing. It doesn't explain them until later in these rules. Your blessing cards, your trap cards. Evil cards. Enhancements. Hero cards. And then battle. So when you first enter a room, when your pawn first enters the room, they're going to flip over all the cards that are on that space. Let's say you have bad guy, lost soul. Here's your hero. Before you get to the lost soul, you have to get the bad guy, as it should say here. You start out with a minimum of 4 battle dice. Let's just for show. Let's say this is your character. Here's the bad guy. You have 1 red, 1 green. He has 2 red. You need 2 powers of red to take out his 2 red power. So you roll the dice. Let's say, here we go. So these are lamb icons. You can re-roll the lamb icon if you wanted. The dragon means you take 1 damage. Boom. Reach a certain amount of damage and the game is over. You can get the damage taken off by going back to the well and rolling the dice again on your next turn instead of moving. So 1 red power combined with your second red power would kill him. Now, you have an option to re-roll these dice. And let's do that. There you go. You got... So, if it had just been the 1 red power, you would have matched the 2 needed to kill him. That would have killed him. But now, you roll... You have 3 red power against his 2. You have successfully vanquished him and overpowered him. So now he goes to your stack, and he's kept as a victory point. And not only that, well, second of all, you take another token of damage. But you also rescued the lost soul. So that's your second victory point. You need, I forget how much it is, how many victory points you go to win the game. But let's say, okay, so you roll the dice. It's a 7, bump, 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 bump. You get into a house. Let's say it has 2 bad guys. Let's get another bad guy here. As soon as you walk into a house, all the cards in there flip up. It's 2 bad guys and a enhancement that you can win. And a soul. Let's say all these cards are in here. Now, the fact that there are 2 bad guys and only 1 of you means you're overpowered. You automatically receive 1 token of damage for being overpowered as soon as you enter. Now, you face the bad guys in order of which the whole stack turns up. So you face the frog demons first in this case. Okay. You have 1 red, 1 green against a power 5 of blue. So, that is an impossible task because you only have 4 dice to start with. Assuming, well, actually not entirely impossible, because rolling 4 blue, you can't even kill him. But, luckily, if you roll 4 lamb icons, you kill every single bad guy in the house. I'll have to look again if you actually vanquish them and capture them, but I'm pretty sure it just kills them. But anyway, so it's not entirely possible. The makers of the game thought this through. So now, the bad guys are gone, and you get to claim 1 card on your turn. So you got to think this through. Let's say another player is coming in behind you. They could come in. You get to claim 1 of these cards on your turn. Do you claim the victory point, or do you claim the enhancement that could help you later? Notice you don't have any blue. That blue could come useful the next time you come across a blue character. That would give you 2 blue power. So you got a dilemma. Do you claim this on the end of your turn? And so then the other player comes in and snipes that out from under you. Or do you do the opposite? Do you claim this, and then he snipes in a victory point? So, although, yes, you are both working against each other, but also at the same time you're trying to all stay alive, because if you accumulate a bunch of hit points, you die, and the whole game is over. Everyone else loses as well. That's interesting. So that's interesting. So it's competitive, but you're working together at the same time not to die. Excuse me. Corona. No. Yes. There's what I just said. I just said that. Okay. And you can only, when you have a certain amount of hit points on you, you minus, a hit point from your movement. After you take 4 damage, any hit points after that subtracts 1 from your movement dice. I'm pretty sure. You can go back and read the rules. Hey, winning the game. Lost souls count as victory point. Hero, rescued hero counts as victory point. And vanquished evil cards count as a victory point. There it is. Okay. You can play the game solo as well. That's interesting. Yeah, you can play the game solo as well. When you get 6 hit chips, you're dead. With 2 players, 10 hit chips. 3 heroes, players. 14 when there are 4 heroes or players. You get 18 hit chips only. That means, okay, when there are 4 players, you may accumulate a total of 18. So on the 19th hit point, the 19th hit point kills you. Here we have a simple sample turn. Player hero chooses Paul. Oh yeah, just it's easier to call them green, blue, red. Okay. So blessing cards acquire you immediately when you walk in. If there's a blessing card, you immediately acquire it, and you can choose to activate it depending if it does activate. Smite and vanquish 1 evil force card. Discard this blessing card. Then a trap card activates. Then the bad guys in the room activate. Then you can choose to pick up any one of these afterwards. Doesn't matter what order these are in. Doesn't matter any what order. All you just know is that here's the end of the rules. These aren't rules. These are advertisements that no longer apply. Okay, there you go. Blessing cards activate first, then trap cards activate. Then you battle evil forces. We have an example. All right. Them's the rules. Alright. Yep. Wish I could have done a better demonstration. But I'm just exhausted after all this work I've been doing. Yeah, and so let's, here's another one. Here's another example. Let's see, you've got this character, and you rescued a second character. He goes under your character like this, so now you have a total power of 3 red and 1 green. Then you pick up an enhancement. Your enhancement goes on you like this, and now you have a power of 2 green. But again, that doesn't work if you come across a 5 blue. When you get another hero, you actually get an additional dice. You actually get die. So the game comes with 6 of them. You can only have a maximum of 6. So if your copy of the game came with less, then you're missing something. Yeah, you should have gotten 12 hero pawns. When I got the game, the pawns were. I still have these 2 stickers. I haven't put on these pawns yet, so that's cool. This game was not used, but I put most of these. I put most of these on. But yeah, I put most of those stickers on, and then I added these slip covers, which will really help preserve them. And then, yeah, most of your characters, some of your characters have special abilities that let them actually have an additional die. But they'll have weaker stats than that. So, yeah. Just if you've got a copy of the game, yeah, you should have 12 pawns. If not, that doesn't really matter. The pawns don't really matter. You just need something. You just need something to mark your place. Again, and if you don't have hit chips, mainly the important part is the 100 redemption cards. Make sure you've got 100 of them. And yeah. And it came with, let's see how many heroes. So what I like to do at the start is I like to just go through the whole thing and take out all the heroes, and then I shuffle them. I shuffle them in my hand, and then I deal them to each player, and that's our starting character. And then I would give him the corresponding pawn. So anyway, yeah, that's simple setup. Again, the most trickiest part for setting it up is this that each player goes around, rolls a dice, and then you add cards. Oh yeah, and then after each player adds a card, each player rolls a dice, and then you add the cards onto the corresponding houses. After that, after each player has rolled a die and the cards are distributed according to the illustration above, place 1 additional card face down on each building in the city. The remaining cards are set aside face down. Oh yeah, and then the other thing is, if at any time, so you only roll your dice, you only roll your battle dice once. Let's say you're in the room. And you can't overpower this guy. You can't overpower this guy. Because you rolled that. So you would only be doing 1 red attack to his 2 attack. You don't take any additional damage from this, by the way. You only take damage if a dragon is rolled. You only take damage if a dragon is rolled. So this you cannot do. This you cannot win. Your turn is over. On your next turn, you choose, let's say you choose to move out of the house onto the street. All the cards in there, flip back over, and we know that a bad guy is still in that house. So we take from the rest of the cards that we didn't do, we add one. We add one from the rest of the pile. That's what keeps the game going. I didn't read that in the rules one of the first times I tried this, and we just kind of dwindled out of cards, and we were like, something's broken about this game. Yeah. Is it so you do replenish cards into a building. That's a good way. See what else was in here? Aha, it was another hero, so that would be something's helpful later on. And that's it. I'm pretty sure I covered. You make it back to the well, and that's the end of your turn. Well, you actually have to land on one of the 4 spots. And then on your next turn, instead of rolling to move, you roll to see how many hit points you get taken off of your character. You would take six chips off of your hero. And I have actually seen it. I've actually seen it where you're rolling ones all the time, so you're stuck on the, well, taking 1 chip off of each turn. Yeah, it does happen. So yeah, if you've got a copy of the game, again, someone reached out to me wondering about the rules of the game, and so yeah, here we are. And that was them's the rules. It's a really fun, interesting game. You got elements of Clue and tabletop roleplay, as I explained in the other video. So yeah, it's a really niche. It's a niche kind of game. If you like board game mechanics, it's an interesting concept. But yeah. So everyone, stay safe from the corona. Stay safe from the coronavirus, and if you have the game, enjoy the game. Play it with everyone. Play it with friends. Well, obviously, stay safe from the corona first. But yeah, but hey, this game can be played in a solo mission. I recommend actually doing that first. Play a solo mission with yourself and get a feel for the game. Again, go back and pause. Go back and look at the rules again. Because maybe there's something I might have missed. And I also recommend invest in the card game. The card game is really fun if you like that too. There's a lot. I just got a new. If you've seen my videos, I just got new cards for the Lineage of Christ expansion in the series, and yeah. This is fun if you like board games. But if I had the choice, I would play the card game over the board game. If I had the choice. But this is a fun little game if you want to sit down and play a board game. So, because some people can't always play the card game. Some people can't get into the card games. I've met people who can't get into the card game, but then think this is fun. I've met them. They're out there. They're out there. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.